Floyd's deaths caused widespread demonstrations across the country, and right here, even some looting as well in the city. In SoHo, some of the plywood used to protect storefronts was turned into art, which is now on display at the National Arts Club. CBS 2's Kevin Rincon shows us.
The sight of broken glass last summer and hollowed-out storefronts were followed by boarded-up businesses.
It was totally deserted like a ghost town.
Maxie Cohen was one of 700 artists who decided to make the most of that awful moment.
It did feel really important to somehow bring back the spirit of SoHo, the spirit of art to the neighborhood.
As soon as we started painting on the streets, people started showing up, they started setting up, we started changing the neighborhood, and it felt so great.
Those artists are part of the Art2Heart collective, but they got some help along the way.
Grandmothers came with their kids, they all painted.
Now, almost a year later, some of the work they created on the streets are on display at the National Arts Club. These pieces of art exist on the same plywood that was used to board up storefronts in SoHo.
It was a tremendous burst of creative energy that happened in the city.
Robert Yanner, the curator, says every piece has its own story to tell.
What happened to us over this last year is not going to make sense to everybody in the same way. It's going to be our own story.
And the stories here are meant to cover the ongoing reality from civil unrest to the pandemic with the hope of inspiring compassion, healing, and love. At Gramercy Park, Kevin Rincon, CBS 2 News.
This exhibition is free to the public. It runs through the end of the month.